What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I want to talk about a story I did yesterday evening, and it was about this woman right here who tragically lost her life. This woman's name is Adger, and she was 51 years old. She lost her life by way of her boyfriend at the time, 61-year-old Stephen Selman. Now, Mr. Selman's locked up. We covered this story, and we know what happened. But I do want to talk about something. A lot of times in my videos, I talk about people, like especially with these domestic violence situations where I make a statement. I say, people love who they love. But a lot of times you can't fix somebody that's broken or doesn't want to be fixed. And I think this is one of those situations. Now, this morning I woke up and I was hit with an email this morning by the sister who was featured in that news article about, she had to go down to Dallas where this story took place. And she had to go and get her sister's things, and the news, the local news had interviewed her. After I did that video, she contacted me and she told me, hey, I didn't appreciate certain things that you said, as far as the facts and stuff. And I explained to her what my channel was about, who I am. I report off of what the news gives me, the news article, and I just give a general statement and opinion. Me and her talked for a while, about 30 minutes. She gave me some intel and information that the news didn't cover, because remember when I read the article, it didn't really have anything different than what the video had, except for a few details. But she gave me a little bit of the background in about her sister, and some interesting details that she wanted me to share with you guys to kind of get the record straight and not just have that one video out there where she feels as though it didn't do enough justice to her sister. I can respect that. She came to me correctly. Hey, Steve, I had a problem with what you said. We spoke. She got a chance to know me. I got a chance to know her, and a little bit about her sister. And I wanted to share some stuff that she wanted me to share with you guys, on my channel. And I told her I'd do that. First thing is this. This guy, Stephen Selman, killed her on his birthday, which is strange. Another thing is she was breaking it off with him. Told her family, because she told her family that she was going to head back from Dallas, I guess move back up there, because I'm gonna tell you something. In this story yesterday, I said a couple of things that were wrong. First thing was this, and she corrected me and gave me this information, so I'm sharing it with you. She told me to share it with you. First thing is this, that apartment was her apartment. She was in Dallas because her job as a seamstress takes her all over the place. She has an apartment in Philadelphia, where they from. And shout out to Philly. These people, because I'm from Camden, New Jersey, these people are from Philly, the Spring Garden area, Fairmount. So shout out to both of those places. So while we were talking, she was sharing a couple things. She still has an apartment there. The reason why she was in the interview is because she was brought down there after they brought the body back, after, they were alerted that her life was taken. The sister went down there to gather her things. That's why she was in the news article. So with her being in the news article, they got some of the information from her. Now, she done took the stuff back, but she originally had her place out there temporarily where she was working, and she also had a place in Philadelphia. In the article, I said that she moved out there to be with him or whatever, right? From the inclination of what was said in the media. It's not true. She had a job, went out there. Now, another thing she told me, she said she never met him personally, but she heard his voice, and, it wasn't it was a 13-month relationship. It wasn't a 2-year relationship. She also said that from what she's seen and heard of him, from what she said, her sister has spoken about her, and her getting the idea of certain instances, which I'll tell you a couple of them in a second. He came off as controlling, somewhat of an isolationist, and selfish. And the things she told me, I could understand it. People that are abusive a lot of times exhibit those three characteristics. She said she found out about the murder. The murder was on the 26th. She found out on the 28th, 2 days after, when they notified next of kin, when they got the emergency contacts. She said her sister was what you call a fixer. She said she looks for the good in people and tries to fix them. And me and her were speaking, and we both came to the terminology of, hey, you can't fix somebody that don't want to be fixed or somebody that's broken. She said it herself out of mouth. You can't fix no broken man. And that's true. The struggles a man has within himself, he has to solve in himself or result to getting help from other men that were either in that position, sees it clearly from the outside, or someone that has climbed out of that situation of despair. And that's all it is despair. There are a lot of men out here that can't get out of their own way because they can't get out of their own head because of things that happened in the past or things that, you know, they feel as though are preventing them from being prosperous, moving forward. And that's real. I've been in a circle like that when I was in my younger years. And I didn't have my grandfather for counsel when he moved to Florida. And I was dealing with my first wife and going through a lot of different depression. So it does exist, and I can sympathize with that. And I totally agree with Micaiah. You know what I'm saying? The sister. I totally agree with her. People look for the good in people, and they try to fix it. And speaking of that, it just hit me. I'm going to talk to y'all about something. I'm not a Tyler Perry fan. But Tyler Perry had a movie, I think it's on Netflix, and it's called Divorce in the Black. Leave me a comment and tell me if any of you guys seen it. Me and Tony was in the room, we was watching it. And I was like, oh, I want to see no Tyler Perry movie. But I know she likes watching stuff like that. We watched it. And it was a normal scenario that you always see. A guy that can't get out of his own way, he's down on himself. Why do you love me? He got a wife that he treats bad and controlled by his family, a bunch of craziness. And her friend was like, hey, leave this guy alone. She's like, no, he's a good person. I see the good in him. And it almost cost her life. And this is a scenario that's happening right now, around the clock. This reminds me of that situation. And I give Micaiah credit, the sister of Isis. I give her credit. She said, I have a husband. And she says, I know what I wrote it down. She says, I know what it looks like. I know what love looks like. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't know what love looks like. And that's real. I want you guys to remember that. Supposedly, she was breaking it off with him. And it's a situation, like I said, of domestic violence. Now, in the news article, they said the sister, which is Micaiah, they said, suggests it was about domestic violence. She said it is about domestic violence. She got mad because she said, I don't know why they did it like that. But I told her, I said, you know, syndicated media got to say a certain thing because it's an ongoing investigation and they don't want to get caught up in it, you know, in a situation of where there's being said that they said something that they didn't and like they could get sued or something like that, you know. And I was just telling her, I was like, you know, this is not syndicated to where like, you know, I'm a radio station. I'm just giving my opinion. And this whole thing is messed up. It is. Women should be here. Now, if you paid attention to that video, right, I had made a statement. I said, man, them apartments look raggedy as hell on the outside. I'm thinking it was his place, it was her place. But if you looked closely, because she was hot with me on this, and I got to give it up. She said, my sister lived immaculate. So I had to go back and look. If you go look at the closet, everything was organized, everything was there. So I had to come back and, you know what I mean, correct that. But I mean, it's very good for Miss Micaiah to contact me and do it classy like, even though she's hurting, her family's going through something. They just buried her sister, you know, and I appreciate how she came at me. We had a very good conversation, and it was a respectable conversation. In closing, I want to say this. She said she remembered when she met him because she was on the phone and he met her at Walmart. She said she could hear his voice. And, you know, she was on the phone talking to her while he was kicking his game. And she wound up giving him the number, and that was the start of it. That's why this is affecting her a lot, because she was there when this monster met her sister. Yeah, and like I told you, there was a couple of incidents I wanted to share with you that she told me about. And first one was this. She said, and this has something to do with the controlling, isolation, and selfish traits. She said one time she was going to visit. She said this is when her radar went up about this guy. She said she was coming to visit hours before she was getting on the flight. And the sister just automatically called her and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to go on the road with him because his occupation is an over-the-road truck driver. So she says, hey, I'm going to go on the road with him. And she's like, you know, Micaiah told Isis, who's the sister that lost her life, she says, hey, this is not right. You know, I'm coming down there. I don't have insurance for this ticket or whatever. Why would you cancel all of a sudden? And she said that's when, you know, her radar started going up. Because remember in the article I did yesterday, it said the family was saying, hey, something's not right. We don't like this situation. This is stemming because of behavior like this. Another time, supposedly, and this is crazy for a man his age to do, said they was on the road because she would travel with him sometimes, stop doing what she was doing, some of her jobs, her projects she was working on for people, and go on the road with him. Said one time it got to the point where he got mad and wouldn't feed her. What's fucking with that? Wouldn't buy her food. So you're eating the face of somebody that you love? Or an argument make you want to starve somebody out or not provide provisions after asking them to go and accompany you on a journey across the country in a truck? This is the type of mentality that's out here, a childish mentality. And a lot of people don't see this. See, you can only wear a mask so long as a man or a woman when it's somebody that you're trying to woo or whatever. The real you gonna come out eventually. And it's just messed up that, I mean, it ended the way it did. But I just wanted to come and clarify some things and give you guys some little bit of intel. You know, not often do people come and want to get on here and say, hey, you know, this is what's happening, and tell their family business. And like I said in the video, when you looked at both pictures, the two people looked like they was on going two different directions in life. What brings people together, like she said, she seems like she's a fixer and she tries to see the good in people. She gave him a shot and it cost her life. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.